Hello, Gajanan. Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm fine, sir. What about you, sir?
I'm also good. So, Gajanan, please tell me about yourself.
Uh, Thank you, sir. First of all, I will introduce myself. Myself, Gajanan Madhukarrao Kadam. I have completed my graduation from SRTM University. From before 3 years, I have completed my skill sets which are required for the developer. So that is HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Angular. Before 3 years, I joined one company that is Acme Soft. So in that company, my job profile initially as a UI developer, and after completing some task and completing my experience, so I then work as a Angular developer from last 1 year. So this is about me.
Okay. So, Angular, which versions do you work on?
Sir, I have worked on the version of 10, Angular 10.
Okay. So, what are your roles and responsibilities in that project?
Sir, your voice is disturbed, not clear.
What are your roles and responsibilities in
Sir,
your project?
my role is to lead a UI developer to do the work as a that means the coding for the development,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
sometime team leader also. So that is my
Okay,
work in the company.
that's good. That's good to hear that you lead the team in
Yes, sir.
like, years of experience. What is difference between HTML and HTML5?
Sir, basically HTML5, sorry, HTML is the old version and HTML5 is the new version. In HTML5, introduce some extra features, semantic features, semantic tags, that is such as aside, caption, figure caption, audio, video, header, footer, canvas. So these are the some tags which are introduced in HTML5 as compared to HTML. Then HTML5 give us some extra features, that is multimedia, audio, video, and images tag. Then the HTML5 gives some API, that is geolocation API, fetch API, web storage API, drag and drop API, file API. So these are the API which are introduced in HTML5.
And what is difference between CSS and CSS3?
Sir, as compared to CSS, so CSS3 first of all support to border box property. It also support 3D animation, then transformation, then responsive web design is also supported in CSS3. In CSS3, we can use fonts, Google Fonts typecast form. So these are the some features which are not in CSS. So that is introduced in CSS3.
Actually, CSS3 have introduced module structure. Can you give some examples of the new models in CSS3?
In CSS3, the modules are no, sir, no ideas.
Okay, okay, that's it. What is box sizing?
So, so box sizing is the property of HTML element. So in which there are so many values. For example, border box, then box content. So in inherit and initial. Uh, so box content, that means what? The element height and width excluding the padding and border, and in border box property it included, that means border and padding is included in the height and width of the content.
What is box model?
So box model is the one type of representation of layout of HTML element, which include the properties such as border, padding, and margin. So that is one type of container for the content, sorry, HTML element.
What are the CSS selectors we have?
Sir, basically there are 6 CSS selectors. First of all, universal, then simple selector, then a combination or relational selector, then pseudo class selector, pseudo element selector, and the last one is the attribute selector.
Can you elaborate more?
Yes, sir. Sir, universal selector are used basically for whenever we require to apply the CSS throughout the HTML page or throughout the HTML elements. Then the simple selector having basically 4 types. That is the tag selector, class selector, then ID selector, and group selector. Then combinator selector, that means the relational selector. That is depends on the relation between the elements. Adjacent selector, child selector, sibling selector, and general sibling selector. So these are the basic selector. That means simple selector. Then pseudo class selector, pseudo class selector are used according to the state of that element. For example,
okay, that's
anchor.
okay. That's okay.
Yes,
I got it.
okay.
So, what is difference between a pseudo class and pseudo element?
So pseudo class is used whenever the state is defined. That means according to the state, we can use the pseudo class. For example, for anchor purpose, then for hover, focus, active, and pseudo elements. Whenever we required the part of the element use some CSS, so at that time you can use the pseudo elements. For example, a single line, single letter, then selection, that means particular selection is there. So at that time you can use the pseudo element.
What are the CSS positions we have?
CSS
Positions.
CSS positions. So there are basically 5 positions, sir. Absolute, relative, fixed, sticky, and static.
What is sticky?
Sir, sticky is a one type of combination, or you can say the hybrid position of the relative and fixed.
Suppose I want to use audio and video files in my project. So which format I should prefer?
Sir, for audio tags or for audio purpose, we use the format MP3, then WAV and OGG, and for video MP4, OGG, and WebM, WEBM.
Okay. What is difference between link and anchor tag?
Sir, link so anchor tag is only for the element, that element. Suppose we want to focus on that element, so at that time we use that anchor tag, and link gives to the another page. That means that a link, whenever we use the link, so we can go to the other page also.
Basically, anchor tag is used to redirect.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, now.
Yeah. Actually, anchor tag is used to redirect from one web page to another web page, right? And link tag is used to bind external documents like style sheet.
Okay, sir.
Into our HTML page.
Yes.
What is difference between inline and block?
So block element, always block element start from the new line. The block element taking the horizontal space, that means the space of its parent element. Then block element, that means the margin we can apply from all 4 sides. And in inline element, that is start from the same line. Margin we can apply only from the left or right side. And the width of that element is the width of the content.
Okay. What is iframe?
No idea, sir.
What is difference between display none and visibility hidden?
Sir, display none means the element is hidden, but it disturbs the structure of the element. And a display hidden means the element is there is also element is hidden, but that
Mhm.
can't display, that can't disturb the structure of the main element. Hello. Hello, sir.
So in how many ways we can apply CSS to the HTML element?
CSS2.
The HTML element. Styling to the HTML element.
Yes, sir. By three ways, sir. Inline, external line, in the tag. That means in that element.
That is internal.
Internal. Yes, sir.
Inline means in the tag. Internal means inside the head.
Yes, sir. Inline, internal, and external.
So that's it from the HTML and CSS. We will continue to the JavaScript.
Yes, sir.
What are the data types we have in JavaScript?
Sorry, sir.
What are the data types we have in JavaScript?
Yes, sir. So basically, there are two types of data types. primitive and non-primitives. So
Mhm.
primitives are of 5 types:
Okay.
string, boolean, number, undefined, and null. And the non-primitive data types are object, array, and function.
What is difference between primitive and non-primitive?
So basically, primitive data type hold the values, and a non-primitive data type hold the reference of that values.
What is hoisting?
So hosting is the by default behavior of the JavaScript. The all declarations which are in the page, they are shifted towards the top of the scope or top of the current page.
What is portion?
So coercion is the one type of process in which one data type is converted into another data type.
What is pure function?
Sir, pure function is nothing but the function which must answer something. That means the output is there. Then it is not depends on external factor. And whenever we give some values, that function gives the same output for the same input.
Okay. Then the first condition is it must return something.
Return
It must return something.
something.
The return is important keyword here. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
What is higher order function?
So higher order function, the function which pass the argument as another function. So that function is called as a higher order function.
Okay. Any example of higher order function? Inbuilt example?
Sir, yes, sir. For each, then map. So these are the method we can use in that higher order function.
What is callback function?
Callback function means the function is used as an argument in another function.
Okay. Very good. What is lexical scope?
Suppose, sir, there is a combination of two functions. So inner function create the lexical scope with the outer function. That means it accepts all data of the outer function. That is lexical scope.
Okay. So we can say that the scope of parent. Lexical scope is scope of parent.
Scope of parent, yes.
What is this keyword in JavaScript?
Sir, this keyword is used to access the that means that is used for closest parent.
Okay. What is callback hell?
Sir, whenever we write so many function in one another, so at that time and at the same time we call that function in the inner function. So at that time that coder maybe suppose that condition is called as a callback here.
Nesting of callback function.
Yes, nesting.
And how to overcome this issue? Callback hell.
No idea.
We use promise.
Yes,
Right.
yes, sir, promise.
What is promise then?
Sir, promise is the one object. So with the help of that, we can resolve the function step by step.
Okay.
With the help of then and catch method. Then we resolve and reject.
What is promise? How to create promise and how to use it?
Sir, we can create a promise. That means the promise create one function for returning purpose, and then that promise should be returned. So that's why we use the async and await. So async create the function for the promise, and await
No.
that
I'm
function.
asking how to. Sorry to interrupt you. I'm asking how to create a promise. how to create a promise and how to use it.
With
I'm
the help of
asking step
resolve,
involved. Yes.
so with the help of resolve and reject method, we can create the promise and resolve it. With the help of three steps: fulfilled, pending, and rejected.
Okay. Can you write one example of promise?
Sorry, sir, my laptop is now closed because of current. Just time. Sir, please, can you stop the recording? I will taking some extra source. What was the question?
Please write one example of promise.
Yes, sir. So like that, we can create the promise. Suppose we want to apply it, that means resolve the problem. So at that time, we can use the async await or try catch method.
Okay. Please write the code. Please create one promise.
Hello, sir. So your voice is not clear. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Please write the code. Please write. Please create one promise.
No, sir.
What is promise chaining?
Promise chaining.
Hmm?
Sir, it is the process of execute the sequence of we can say asynchronous task one by one.
One after one by using promise.
Yes.
What is Ajax?
So Ajax means asynchronous JavaScript XML. So with the help of Ajax, we can with the help of Ajax, we can call the function from the storage faster, quicker, and more flexible with the help of XML, CSS, and API. So that means, sir, Ajax is one type of API.
Oh. What is JSON?
Sir, JSON is JavaScript object notation that is used. Yes, sir. That is used for transfer the data. Yes, sir.
What are the methods we have on JSON?
So set item and get item. That means whenever we transmit the data from JavaScript to the storage, web storage, so at that time we can use the stringify method. And whenever you got that means came data from the web storage to the JavaScript object, so at that time we can use the JSON parse.
Not only from web storage, we also get data from database, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
So at that time also we use these two methods.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Have work on API call.
Yes, sir.
Suppose I have given one link to you, API link. Can you
Yes.
fetch data from that API?
Yes, sir. Yes.
First of all, comment that line number 4.
Yes, sir.
And P should be capital at line number 4. After
Yes.
new word, the P should be
Yes.
capital.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Go to the HTML page and then run your server. Stop the live server and run one more. Error is fine. You can set the red color. App.js 11.
Yes, sir. Unexpected thing.
Please go to the app.js file. Find type. There is some issue, right? At line number 11.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sorry. Sir.
Okay, that's okay. Actually, you have to console that response, right? At line number 11, you are calling response method instead of you have to console at line number 8.
Yes.
You should console that RESP. That is not a method. That is your response.
Sir, it answer answer comes, sir. Then
Yes, yes.
again,
It
yes,
flashes.
yes, yes, yes,
It is taking some time to.
yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, okay, that's okay. I have passed one statement in chat section. Will you please copy that in your code editor?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What will be the output of that statement and its data type?
Yes, sir. 15, 15 minus 12. Yes, sir. This is answer.
Yeah, and data type?
String, sir.
Okay, perfect. Very good. Will you please comment that?
Yes, sir.
Please comment line number 11 and 12.
Yes, sir.
What is difference between slice and splice?
Slice and splice. Sir, basically slice is used for string as well as for array. Splice is used only for the array. Then in slice method, both you can say uh, arguments are not mandatory. But in splice method, one is mandatory. Then in slice method, we can pass only two arguments. In splice method, we can pass number of arguments. That means at the same time, we can remove also, we can add also. So that is the splice method. Then splice method change the structure of array, and splice method doesn't change the structure of array.
Okay, very good. What is currying function?
Yes, sir. Currying.
Currying function.
Currying function. Yes, sir. Sir, can I use code?
Yes, 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 please.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
33.
okay, perfect. What is temporal dead zone?
Temporal
Dead zone.
dead zone. No, sir. No idea.
What is classes in JavaScript?
Classes in JavaScript.
Hmm.
So classes are used to create the multiple objects or instances. So it is the sugar coating for the constructor.
Okay.
It can use for the object also.
Can you write one example?
Yes, sir. So likewise, C1 means C1 is the one instance that created by the class, main class.
Okay. Okay. What is extend keyword?
Hello, sir.
What is extend keyword?
Sir, extend keyword is it is used for taking the all properties or methods from the parent class to the child class. That means we can create the child class from the parent class. So that's why we use the extend keyword.
And what is this process called as? Taking all the properties and method of one class into another class.
That is the inheritance, sir.
Okay. Okay. Very good. What is abstraction?
Sir, abstraction means show essential and hide details.
Okay. What are the new features we have in ES6?
Sir, EX6 give us two declaration. That is let and constant. That is the first.
Mhm.
It support the destructuring of arrays and object. Then
Mhm.
also first it is used to string interpolation.
Mhm.
Then async await function is also given by the ES6 features. Then
Okay.
template return is also given by the ES6.
Okay. What is distance of?
Sorry, your voice is not clear, please.
Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah. What is destructuring of object?
Destructuring of object. So can I elaborate by the code?
Yes. 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 Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what happens here at line number 32?
Sir, this is array. And,
Mhm,
with the help of late declaration in the that means array square bracket, we give one
mhm,
declaration that is num
mhm,
and is equal to r. That r means that related with this array
mhm,
is equal to r. Then we
mhm.
console that here.
Okay,
So that gives us answer of first element. Suppose
okay. And
20.
if I
Then
want
suppose
to, yes, yes, please continue.
yes, yes, sir.
Yes, please continue.
Suppose
Yes.
yes, yes, sir. Yes. Suppose like that num 2 and we call that means here we use destructuring as well as the rest operator.
Okay, okay, okay. Very good.
Yes, sir.
What is difference between let constant variable?
Yes, sir. So where keyword can't create the local or block scope. Late and constant keywords create the local or block scope. Then where keyword we can reassign or redeclare. Late keyword we can redeclare but not reassign. And const keyword can't reassign, can't redeclare. Then where keyword that means in where keyword the hosting is possible without declaration also. But in late and
Mhm.
const keyword, the hosting is possible, but before initialization, it cannot declare.
Okay. What is arrow function?
So arrow function is the simplest way to create the function. It is the way of creating a function in
Mhm.
short. Yes, sir. It is also called a lambda function.
Is there any limitation to use arrow function?
Yes, sir. By the arrow function, we can't create the method as well as the constructor.
Okay. We cannot use this keyword in arrow function.
Yes, sir. Yes.
What is what are modules in ES6?
Hello, sir.
What are modules?
Modules in ES6.
Yes.
Then, sir, import and export is also one type of module. By using that, we can
Mhm.
share and receive the information. That means functionalities.
What is IFI?
If he is immediately invoked function expression, that means yeah, that function is immediately called in the function, or you can say at the last of the function. Immediately we can call. So that is the if he. Can I write the code?
No, no, it's okay. Uh,
Yes.
what is web storages? Sorry, we have already asked what is web storages. Sorry. What is web socket?
Web?
Socket.
No, sir. No idea.
What is difference between undefined and not defined?
So no, not defined means the declaration is not defined it, and undefined means the declaration is defined but not assigned the values.
What is deep copy and shallow copy?
No, sir, no idea.
What is prevent default method?
Yes, sir.
What is prevent default method?
Yes, sir. With the help of prevent default method, we can prevent the by default behavior of the browser. That means refreshing behavior.
What is called bind and apply?
Call, bind, and apply.
Apply.
Yes, sir. Call means the bind the value, then invoke the function, and that allows us to pass the list of argument or number of argument. That is the call. Apply means give the value, invoke the function, return the new function, and pass the argument as a array only. And bind means bind the value, invoke the function, and as well as return the number of arguments. Sometimes means pass argument as a number of parameters.
Okay. How to compare two date objects?
How to compare data objects?
Two date objects.
Sir, there are three techniques, the three methods. One is with the help of new keyword, we can create the date.
Okay.
Then second one.
No, I'm not asking to create date object, right?
Yes, yes.
Suppose you have two date objects, and we want to compare. We want to compare that date object. Then how to compare?
No, sir, no idea.
What is prototype in JavaScript?
Sir, sorry, sir.
What is prototype?
Yes, sir. Sir, prototype means the parent sorry, base object, that means parent object for the current. That is the prototype. Parent object for the current object. That is the prototype.
I have passed one array in chat session. Will you please copy that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the array of frogs, and I want to create a new array of frogs, but whose gender should be female and whose favorite food should be fly. You have to create a new array of frogs whose gender should be female and whose favorite food should be fly.
Yes, sir.
Uh, can you
Sir,
can you use any higher order function other than for each?
yes, sir. Filter also we can use, sir.
Yeah, please try with filter.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please try with filter method.
Yes, sir. Yes. Female, sir.
Yes.
Favorite food. Sir, the name print name print.
Yes, please. Console निवारे.
Yes.
So suppose you have to calculate ages of all female frogs.
That means addition.
Yes, addition. Summation of all the ages of only female frogs.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, that's okay. Please comment out that code.
Yes, sir.
It is not copied completely. I think parentheses are missing. Please copy one more time. So, what will be the output of line number 93 and 94 when we call F method at line number 98?
Sir,
What will be the output of line number 93 and 94?
93 and 94.
Yes.
Sir, the answer of 93 is Vivek,
Uh,
and 94. So, sir, answer of 94 is, I think, undefined.
why it undefined?
Because, sir, self dot name.
Mhm.
Self is the one only declaration. That means keyword
Okay.
we have to use.
Mhm.
And on that, we can't use that name, because that is uh, uh, at the line number 88,
Mhm.
and we have to console it at 94 line.
Okay. I think 93 will give undefined and 94 will give Vivek. Please check in console. Right. 94 is
Yes,
giving
sir.
here because the closures concept
Uh,
is here because of the closure. The 92 function creating a lexical scope. Lexical
Yes,
scope
sir.
means scope of parent.
Parent.
So that it can get the self dot name
Yes, sir.
outside. Okay. That's so. Gajan, I have
Yes, sir.
done from my side. Do you have any question for me?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay, then Gajan. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Okay, sir.